So let's dive deeper into this. Can you share an example or maybe a situation where AI took care of the heavy lifting, the 60%, but the human oversight at the end completely changed the outcome?
The AI agents as PMs, it's way overhyped. It's not true. But PMs exist there because you're interacting with people and you're building institutional knowledge. AI agents can't take those meetings. They're not coming for your job anytime soon. If you think about prompting AI tools wrong, I have so many examples of this. So one is my own example where I was early on testing GPT-3. At this time, I was working at a firm, so a fintech company, a public fintech company worth like $20-30 billion. And I was leading out their growth product teams there. And when you lead growth product teams, as most leaders know, you still have to do some IC work. And so when I had to do PRDs, for instance, I would start by, just assuming okay, here's a prompt. I want you to create a PRD to expand the credit box at a firm to include the people who have taken 3 loans with us, even if they have low credit. Okay, so you'd think that'd be a somewhat straightforward PRD, just a couple lines. But it turns out I hadn't done the full 20% of work. What ChatGPT was missing was, hey, the context I had that people who have taken 3+ loans with us and repaid those, even if they have bad credit, they probably have a pretty high repayment rate with us. So we can think about pretty good repayment rates and some of that experimental data that I had, or some of the data that I had around the strategy from our CEO, Max, where he's really trying to grow 100% year over year. And so we need to be able to take a little bit more riskier user groups. Or the fact that the types of people who we had been lending to after rates had risen, we used to lend to these people, but now we haven't been over the last 6 months. And so some of them are frustrated and reaching out. All of these examples, these are the types of things that need to go into your first 20%. So you need to get at the context that you have as a PM from all those learnings, all those meetings, all that in-person stuff that the AI agent isn't there for. After you do that, then it'll actually come up with a pretty nice PRD, but it'll still make some mistakes, right? I'll have some context about our repayment rates. You might say, hey, a guardrail metric is repayment rates are 5% lower than our average Affirm customer. But that's actually not how the payment analytics team would have worded it at Affirm. They lack that context. So editing the last 20%, I'll edit that and I'll say, okay, in Affirm language, actually, Affirm tends to think about the gross profit per loan. And the gross profit per loan growth goals are 100%. We're 20% off target. And so actually talking more about that, the gross profit per loan is going to be the better way for this PRD to influence our credit analytics team. And so that's, again, that example where the human touch comes in to take what AI took from 20 to 80% to 100%.